Almost back row. Yes, right here. Yes.
Mine's not going to sound so cheery as hers. So I saw you in Detroit in July, and I was having a real Abraham high, and I was feeling very positive, and I was getting really good at recognizing anytime I was feeling negatively and catching it early enough and being able to find a thought that would feel good. And I was just feeling great, and then think, wow, I'm so getting really good at this, and I'm never gonna, be really, in a real down, negative, depressed place again for any period of time. So of course temporarily, but yeah, for any major period of time. And then so this in August, and I started business school in Austin, and I had been really excited about the experience, and the way it was turning out then was that I wasn't doing that great in school, and I expected to do very well. It felt like going very fast for me. I wasn't, picking it up fast enough, and so, of course, that would bring about then negative feelings about feeling very down on myself, very frustrated that I wasn't, picking it up faster, just at the pace of the class, the amount of the workload. So by the time it was the end of class, because everything's moving so fast, that then I would recognize how negative I was, and it wasn't easy to just, to then replace with thought. And I would, and then it would be the next class, so there was very little time to kind of do because I was practicing also the inching when I was feeling bad. Then, okay, what's the best thought I can find, and working with that a little bit. Okay, what's the next one? And I just felt like there wasn't the time for that, and so it was sort of a steamroller effect of just always being so mentally occupied with the classwork and the homework and everything. So yeah, just feeling like I wasn't able to find the time to ever bring me up enough, or it'd be so temporary, and then I'd come back down again. And so on Tuesday, then our next semester starting, and I wanted some advice about how not to replicate that process, or how I can deal with that.
Well, these tree roots that we were talking about, that sometimes are very deep and still affecting you. Sometimes the way you feel about yourself hasn't been activated in such a poignant way. In other words, a classroom that examines you and compares you with others is the perfect environment to dredge up feelings of inadequacies. Think about it. So you come forth as non-physical energy, so excited to be in this body, and knowing that you are perfect and expanding. And then in this little body with this huge spirit who knows that all is well, who is eager to expand and experience the difference that is you, is then hammered into a classroom at a tiny little age, just like a square peg into a round hole. And right away you are compared with others, and it was a shock of all shocks, those little spirits. Now, some of you are not mavericks, and some of you conformed more easily. Some of you had a harder time conforming, but we think that surprise and shock at not being allowed to be just who you were, and trying to be guided and hammered into directions that weren't of your choice, left a sort of strong vibrational scar that just got reactivated. And that's those long roots that we were talking about. Right. That sometimes you don't feel till your daddy dies, or sometimes you don't feel till something happens that reactivates them. Right. So when you talked about how you hardly had time to regain your balance and think through what it was that was bothering you, what we want you to do is step further back from the issues of the classroom, and think some more general thoughts that are easier to get your thoughts around, such as, now remember, we're just reaching for thoughts that feel better, and there's no right or wrong in this, but thoughts such as, it's pretty significant that I have a strong desire to learn this stuff. And I should feel pretty proud of myself that I'm at a stage of life where I can apply myself in this way. And isn't it fun to learn? And don't I hear so many people that let life go by and wish that they'd learned something, and here I am digging in and learning it. And aren't we all different in the way we absorb and learn? And is there any real standard that says we all have to do it in exactly the same way? And haven't I known about myself all my life that I didn't necessarily learn as fast as some, but once I get it, I get it? You should see Jerry and Esther. They are like the tortoise and the hare. Uh-huh. In that Esther moves very, very fast. It's annoying to watch her if you're trying to keep track. She'll do 14 different things at the same time, and all of them very, very fast. And Jerry is more singular in what he is doing. Right. But he doesn't feel less than because she can make more details happen. Because his approach is lining up energy and letting it unfold. He has, for a lot longer than we've been expressing through Esther, allowed good to come to him by preparing himself to let it come. While Esther is still sort of the nature of getting out there and making it happen. If you were to compare them by school standards, Esther would be the valedictorian.
Yeah, I feel this is hard because all through my school years and through undergraduate, I always did very well. I always felt very confident about my intelligence and that ability. And in this experience, actually, so my husband's just, I'm the slow, more methodical one. So it takes longer. And he's very quick, very speed-oriented. And so this has been a great environment for him.
If there were one mentality and one personality and one nature that was supreme, and it was the best for the overall environment, then you would all be like identical clones. But since variety is the magic of the strength of the whole, you are all very different. And what you're wanting to do is find positive aspects of where you are right now. And in reaching for the positive aspect, you'll connect with Source, and then it will all flow through you easily. It is the wanting to categorize you as better and not so good and worse that is so detrimental to the experience.
Yeah, that's unfortunately the structure of the school. You know, everything's curved, so it's
But what difference does that make? In other words, as you say, I'm coming out of this with knowledge, and while I might not be measuring up to the A that I'm wanting, I'm coming out of there with knowledge, and we have to say to you that a minuscule part of what anyone ever learns that they apply happens in the classroom. The classroom is more giving birth to the desire than anything else. What we would encourage you to do is just chill out, begin having more fun, enjoy the social setting of it, enjoy the stimulation of thought that it is giving you. Esther took a class on programming a computer, and it was a 2-day class. And it cost quite a bit of money. She took Tracy. They both came to Austin from San Antonio to take the class 2 or 3 years ago, and spent 16 hours in the class with a very good instructor. And when Esther got home, Jerry said, "What did you learn?" All excited. He thought that she would say, "I learned how to do everything that we're ever going to want to do." His words were, "What can you now do?" In other words, what can you apply to make our life better? And Esther said, "I got nothing except the knowledge that it can be done." So what happened was she went to the class with a strong desire and came out of the class with a belief that it could be done, and then dug it out of a CD-ROM tutorial and a book over the next several weeks through trial and error and trial and error and trial and error and trial and error and trial and error. You see? And so when you go to a class, you don't know what the backgrounds of the others are. You don't know where they've been and what they've learned and what's prepared them. And their mind might have got kicked into higher gear. In other words, you don't know what you're comparing yourself to. And it's of no value to compare yourself. You don't know where they came from, and it doesn't have anything to do with where you are. You're going to get what you want, exactly what you want, and the rest of them have nothing to do with it. So if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would make them and what they're doing irrelevant. Even if grading on the curve puts you at the bottom of the grade, it does not matter. Instead, we would say things like, I'm here, and I'm picking up a lot, and I'm gaining my bases, and I don't know where they got their bases, but here I am. Esther will say to Jerry, I love learning. She doesn't say, oh man, there are a million things more to know than I know. She's saying, I'm loving learning. There are people out there that the technology that is there is extraordinary. And they didn't start there. It's where they are. And as you compare yourself to any of them, you're going to be uncomfortable, you see. It's just your relationship with your desire. And you're making progress on that. Think about how much you've learned. Yeah. You weren't the best one in the class. So what? You weren't equal when you got to the class. You weren't equal in desire. You weren't equal in experience. It doesn't matter at all.
So I feel like this first semester I was focusing so much on homework and the grades and stuff. Should I?
Why are you going to the class?
Well, it's to learn. I do want to learn.
What do you want to learn? Why do you want to gather this knowledge?
So that I can, when I go back into the workforce, so it can be more meaningful work.
And are you gathering the knowledge?
I mean, yeah, I've learned tons comparatively. I mean, from what I
and so it's working, isn't it?
I guess it's so. Can I trust that that I will get a good job? That
absolutely
will be okay?
Absolutely. When you go to apply for a job, send the manager. Jerry and Esther have many people that are working with them and have been working with them, and never have they asked for their grades.
Right.
Not once. Yeah. Instead, they're looking for their attitudes. They're looking for their confidence. They're wanting to know if they're happy. They're wanting to know how they feel about themselves.
Do you think then I'll do better in all realms of feeling if I do concentrate more on having fun and getting exercise and making sure that I'm doing workshops and that sort of thing?
But what you're wanting to do, let's not get off the subject of what you want in this class. What you want in this class is knowledge, applicable knowledge, and you're getting that. And the grade does not matter. You're getting the knowledge. All the grade says is you're not getting it as fast as someone else, but you're still getting the knowledge. What we would do if we were turning in work or taking a test and someone didn't give us a very good grade, we'd say, this is fabulous because now I know my points of weakness, and then we would work on those and we would give ourselves the next grade. In other words, what is it that they think I should know that I don't know? I'll go back and learn that. There are those who take tests and do very well on the tests who don't learn anything because they're there to satisfy the test rather than to learn the stuff. Right. You see, it doesn't make any difference. Right. You're there for the knowledge and you're getting it. And it will come to you in lots of different ways. And as you relax and start liking where you are there, it will open up for you even more.
Okay.
Be easy about it. And every day, remind yourself why you're going. Why am I going here? Am I going so this teacher will approve of me? I'm probably not going to see this teacher for the rest of my life after this. Am I going so that the other students in the class will find me remarkably bright? I'm probably not going to see the rest of the students in this class ever again. Am I going to this class to get some grade on a piece of paper? I'm probably not ever going to show this piece of paper to anybody. Why am I going to this class? Because I want to know some stuff that they know. Esther called technical support. She bought a new computer and a new printer, and the new computer would not talk to the new printer. So she called technical support, and an angel on the other end of the phone gave her his knowledge. Do this, do this, do this, do this. Jerry said as he listened from the other room, "You're having a very good time there. It was fun." The man on the other end of the line didn't say, "Well, you dummy, how'd you come this far and not know that?" He didn't say, "How long have you been working with computers? 10 years? And you don't know about this type font manager?" He said, try this. We'll try this. We'll try this. Ah, that did it. You're sharing knowledge with one another. And do you know...